I want to call to order the Amberley Village Council meeting of November 9, 2020. Please call the roll.
You are muted.
Rich Bardach. My apologies. Rich Bardach.
Here.
Peg Conway.
Here.
Ed Hattenback.
Here.
Elida Kamine. Here. Tom Muething.
Here.
Ray Warren. He's here, but he's muted. Natalie Wolf.
Here.
Scot Lahrmer.
Here.
Andrew Kiki.
Here.
Chief Wallace.
Here. Okay, if everyone could please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic.
I'm unmuted. I'm here.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on our agenda this evening is our minutes from our last regularly scheduled meeting. Those minutes were circulated to all council members in the package. Are there any corrections? Seeing no corrections, we consider the minutes approved. Next item on the agenda is our finance report for September 2020.
Scot Lahrmer, Amberley Village Manager. I'm here to talk about the financial package for September 2020. The Finance Committee reviewed this at their monthly meeting. First, I want to talk about the earnings tax.
This meeting is being recorded.
The earnings tax collections for the month of September totaled $255,000. That's just slightly less than what we collected last year at the same time. The estimate for this year is $3 million. So far, we have collected $2.3 million, so we've collected about 78% of the earnings tax. Overall, the year-to-date amount is just slightly less than what we collected in 2019. During the month of September, the village also booked property tax that was received through the county. This is the second half balance of real estate property tax. We also received some local government fund monies in the amount of $6,000. The total amount of revenue for the month of September was $397,000, and that gives us a total for the year-to-date of $4.5 million, and that represents about 80% of what we anticipate to collect. On the expense side, the village spent $567,000 during the month of September. Our year-to-date expenditure is $4.1 million, so we have spent 72% of the budget that was approved by Village Council. And that concludes the report, other than to say that the unencumbered general fund balance for at the end of September came in at $5.7 million. Thank you.
Are there any questions for the manager? Thank you. We'll now move on to committee reports, and first from the Planning Commission.
This is the third reading of Ordinance 2020-16, adding Chapter 154.84 to Title IV of the Village of Amberley Codified Ordinances regarding the Amberley Green Zoning District regulations. In order to effectively consider any type of development of the village-owned Amberley Green property, the zoning must be changed from the current restrictive Residence A zoning, which is single A family 1 acre lots. However, the village does not have any other zoning district that would accomplish what residents and council believe should be permitted on the Amberley Green property. Village staff and council have been working to create an environment to maintain green space for the Amberley Green while enabling development to occur if the village council finds proposed use is acceptable for the 133 acre property. These efforts have culminated in a special zoning district being proposed for adoption by Village Council. Creating the special zoning district would allow for mixed uses to preserve green space, create recreational and residential areas while allowing limited opportunity for revenue-generating businesses to locate at the site, which will add to the tax base of the village. Residents can also review several videos that the village has prepared on the Amberley Village website for a more comprehensive explanation of all the text in what's included in the proposed zoning language. So at this point, I'd refer it back to the mayor for public hearing.
Okay. I'd like to open the public hearing on zoning text, and it is currently 6:38, and open the public hearing. We'll first ask anyone in attendance at Village Hall if they would like to comment on the zoning text. Now, anybody online would like to comment on the zoning text?
Is there anyone online who wishes to comment on the Amberley Village Green zoning text?
Okay, then I would like to close the public hearing, and it is currently 6:38. Now, with respect to the public hearing, I mean, this is the second of the public hearings that we've had in council. The Planning Commission has had a public hearing, and the council is definitely wants to get resident input on this, and so we have scheduled a Zoom public hearing that will occur a week from this evening, and I believe it's at 5 o'clock. Okay, it'll be 5 o'clock a week from this evening, and that'll be via Zoom. So again, that'll be another opportunity for residents to give input. We have also scheduled a council work session to discuss comments that we've received, including comments that we've received from the Planning Commission. That will occur, I believe, on November 30th. That is a work session that will also be via Zoom, and that is at 4 o'clock on November 30th.
A quick question. So with respect to next week's meeting, is it an official public hearing, like someone can just show up and speak, or do they need to sign up in advance like a regular council
No,
meeting?
it's a public hearing similar to this evening's public hearing. So they should contact the clerk to get the sign-in details, et cetera. But they do not, as a public hearing, they don't have to register in advance or anything like that. They can, we'll open the public hearing and ask whether there's anyone that wants to make comment. Okay, so that, again, I can't stress enough that, one of the things council wants to make sure is that we take every opportunity to get input on this. It's something very important. And, I think that, we've had multiple council work sessions, and as I stated, we've scheduled another work session because we have gotten comments, and this is something very important. And we really do have the time to make sure we get this right, and that's why we're doing it. Well, on that issue.
One moment. We have a resident who just joined online, so I've just asked if she would like to speak to the Amberley Green zoning code text.
Okay. In light of that, I will reopen the public hearing. I think it's 6:40? 6:39. Okay, reopen the public hearing and we'll take the comments. And the person who is going to be speaking to the public hearing, please state your name, your address, and then you have 3 minutes to express your comments.
Tammy, did you wish to speak?
Okay, they do not want to speak? Okay, so we will close the public hearing again. Now it's 6:40. So Councilman Bardach, you can now go to your next item.
Thank you. This is the second reading of ordinance 2020-17, amending the village zoning code, section 154.14, pertaining to the allowable height of hedges. In the summer of 2020, the property maintenance code changes that had been vetted through the Law Committee and Planning Commission were adopted by council on July 13 and went into effect on August 27. Although not included in the recommended changes to the zoning and property maintenance code, changes that had been discussed over the last 2 years, the language for the allowable height of hedges was questioned. This item was referred to the Law Committee and then forwarded to the Planning Commission. The substantive and proposed change to section 154.14A is to allow hedges, not in the public right-of-way, to be taller than 2.5 feet in height. Boiled down, that's the substantive change. So at this point in time, I would make a motion to waive the third reading of ordinance.
Councilman Bardach?
Yep.
Well, first,
Oh, sorry, we have a
first gonna
public hearing.
open the
Sorry.
public hearing.
Sorry, yeah, I'd refer this to the mayor for a public hearing. Sorry.
Okay, I'd like to open a public hearing with respect to ordinance 2020-17. The public hearing is opening at 6:41. Are there any parties in council chambers that would like to make a comment on ordinance 2020-17? Seeing none in council chambers, is there anyone online that would like to make a comment on ordinance 2020-17?
Does anyone online wish to comment?
Okay, we will hereby close the public hearing at 6:42. Now, Councilman Bardach.
I make a motion to waive the third reading of ordinance 2020-17.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we waive the third reading with respect to ordinance 2020-17, amending the village code, section 154.14 pertaining to allowable height of hedges. Are there any questions or comments?
Just for clarification, that would allow this section to be adopted and go into effect in 45 days. Wait.
Okay, seeing no questions, it has been moved and seconded that we waive the third reading on ordinance 2020-17. Please call the roll.
Rich Bardach.
Yes.
Peg Conway.
Yes.
Ed Hattenbach.
Yes.
Elida Kamine.
Yes.
Tom Muething.
Yes.
Ray Warren. Rich Bardach. Peg Conway. Yes. Ed Hattenbach. Elida Kamine. Tom Muething. Yes. Ray Warren.
Yes.
Natalie Wolf.
Yes.
Now you make,
That concludes my report. Thank you.
no, that was to waive the third reading.
Oh.
You still need to make a motion to approve the
All right.
reports.
I make a motion to approve ordinance 2020-17, amending the village zoning code, section 154.14, pertaining to the allowable height of hedges.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we approve ordinance 2020-17, amending village code, section 154.14. Are there any questions or comments? If not, it has been moved and seconded that we approve ordinance 2020-17. Please call the roll.
Richard Bardach.
Yes.
Peg Conway.
Yes.
Ed Hattenbach. Yes. Elida Kamine. Yes. Tom Muething.
Yes.
Ray Warren.
Yes.
Natalie Wolf.
Yes.
Okay,
That concludes my report.
and thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll now move on to the Streets, Public Utilities, and Sewers Committee. Councilman Warren, that is your committee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Before council this evening are two motions. Resolution 20. There's a delay here. Sorry, there's a sound delay in my headphones. So
Ray, you need to turn the sound on your computer off.
But I assume you heard my my preamble before you are a motion to adopt resolution 2020-29 and 31.
Ray,
boy.
you'll need to start over from the beginning,
Ray,
and
you need to turn the sound on your computer off.
yeah, you should be solely on audio. You should not
Okay.
be listening.
Okay, good. I have turned that off. Okay. About 2 months ago, at the Streets Committee of September 9th, 2020, the committee met to review the streets program, in particular Kincaid and Farmcrest. As you know, over the years, the Farmcrest area has been identified as among the worst streets in the village. It's a concrete-based street that's been where we've applied asphalt over the years, and unfortunately the street has continued to deteriorate. You also know that over the last several years the village has attempted to apply, has applied for Ohio Public Works Commission grants to improve that street, and we have failed. Well, at the September meeting, we learned some new things, and which bear on this evening's meeting. For one thing, we had applied for a municipal road fund grant for Kincaid Road in the amount of about $71,000 that was approved. And at the September council meeting, this council approved a resolution that would allow us to seek those funds from the Board of Hamilton County Commissioners. Okay, so, and the thought was that we could leverage these MRF funds with the village's stormwater utility fund to enable us to score additional points to secure an Ohio Public Works Commission grant of about $76,000. And so that's basically the subject of the resolution 2020-31 that deals with Kincaid Road. But the Kincaid Road section is really part of the I'll call part of the Farmcrest complex. And as I mentioned before, you know, we have tried to secure OPWC grants for the Farmcrest area, and we haven't failed. And over the last several years, basically what we were told by our engineering consultants, CT consultants, that if the village contributed additional funds, it would increase our score for potential funding. And in fact, last year we were pretty close. We were a few points away from obtaining a grant. And so what CT consultants recommended at the time, this is again back in September, that the village could apply for a loan from the Ohio Water Pollution Control Loan Fund. That could contribute up to 30% of the projected cost of a street program, particularly the North Farmcrest area. And so we're going to be focusing on the North Farmcrest area. That's an area that has that experiences more traffic. It's certainly a bad street, similar to South Farmcrest. And so the village applied for that loan, which I might say is virtually an interest-free loan, and we were able to secure the loan. And this would represent about 30% of the projected cost, or about $215,000. And so the idea was we could use this loan to match what the village could contribute toward the overall project. This could be from the village street fund and the stormwater utility fund. That would now represent, I think on your sheet, that would now represent about 60-70% of the total cost of the project. we could then go back and apply to the Ohio Public Works Commission for a grant for the balance of the project. And that would be for about $145,000. So we think with our increased contribution toward this application, it should put us in a very good position to secure the grant. And so that's basically the function of Resolution 2020-29 that authorizes the village manager to apply for the OPWC grants for North Farmcrest and for Kincaid respectively. Okay, so I know on our village packet, I know the village manager put together a slightly different narrative, but I just wanted to bring us back in terms of what I had shared 2 months ago with both council and the residents to say, okay, now we're ready to apply for these grants. Okay, so before you, we have Resolution 2020-29, authorizes the village manager to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Program. And this will be for, let's get my notes again, sorry. This will be for the North Farmcrest Road upgrade. And that is my motion.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2020-29, which would authorize the village manager to apply for the grant from the Ohio Public Works Commission with respect to North Farmcrest. Are there any questions or comments? If not, it has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2020-29. All in favor? Aye. I assume, Ray, that you're an aye? Ray, you were yes, right?
Okay. Yes, I am an aye.
Okay.
I have to juggle two mute buttons here, so sorry for this delay. But yes, I am an aye.
So be it noted that the resolution
Okay,
passes
I
unanimously.
believe I can proceed to the next motion.
Yes. Go ahead.
I have to juggle two mute buttons here, so sorry for this. Yes,
So be it noted that the resolution
Okay.
passes.
I believe I can proceed to the next motion.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, let me figure these mute buttons again. Okay, so next is a motion to approve Resolution 2020-31, which is a resolution authorizing the village manager to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement Program. This will focus on a grant application for Kincaid Road.
Do I hear, that was a...
Second.
Okay. So it has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2020-31, authorizing the village manager to apply for a grant with respect to Kincaid Road. Are there any questions or comments? If not, it has been moved and seconded that we adopt Resolution 2020-31. All in favor?
Aye.
And Ray, you are an aye, right? Ray?
Aye.
Okay. Being noted that that resolution passes unanimously.
I thought I said aye.
And does that conclude the streets report? Right?
Yes.
All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
Being noted that that resolution passes. We'll now move on to the compensation and benefits.
I thought I said aye.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. So the Compensation and Benefits Committee met last
And that
week.
concludes the Streets Committee report.
Okay. Compensation and Benefits Committee met last Monday for our annual discussion of our annual holiday gift card program for our employees. And as you know, for the last several years, we have been thanking our employees who work so hard every year with $250 gift cards for our full-time employees. And last year we made sure our part-time employees were also included in the program at a slightly lower dollar amount. But this is something that is really just doesn't even begin to really scratch the surface, I think, of how grateful we all are for our extraordinary employees. And especially this year, it's been such a unique and crazy year, and we've been so grateful to have had the service has been completely uninterrupted. If anything, it's been, more amazing than ever. And we are just, we talked in the committee about, they're sort of like, we want to do more. We always want to do more. This is a program that has had great success. It is, has been met with gratitude from our employees in the past. And so it was a no-brainer that we wanted to continue to do this as a thank you for our employees for the holidays. And I honestly, I don't have enough words to say anymore. And I'm sure that they will all be hearing, as always, from our residents who use the opportunity to drop off gifts and food and all that sort of stuff during the holidays to thank our incredible employees for all the work that they do for us. So that will all be coming. So what we are doing for this, because it's compensation, is we have to vote on this, but we'll do it by motion. So I move that we extend our holiday gift card program to our employees for $250 gift cards to all of our employees this year.
Second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we approve the holiday gift card program for our employees, which involve a gift to our employees of $250, along with a letter that that I'm going to draft, and Councilwoman Conway has agreed to help me with that program. So, are there any questions or comments? It has been moved and seconded that we approve the holiday gift card program. All in favor? Aye. And Ray, are you a yes? Or? Moved and seconded that we approve the holiday gift card program. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so please note that resolution.
I am a yes.
Okay, please note that resolution.
I am a yes.
All right, it passes unanimously.
And that concludes my report.
Okay, we'll now move on to the manager. And I apologize to those residents. I mean, these are, obviously, everyone knows they're very difficult times. And it's good at times that we chuckle during these difficult times and take advantage of these humorous moments to get some levity in our life. So this was a good moment.
Scot Lahrmer, Amberley Village Manager. I wanted to report on 3 items for council this evening. The first is that the Ohio Supreme Court released information last week. They made a ruling in regards to an issue that the village has been involved with since 2017. You may recall that the Ohio legislature approved House Bill 49, which allowed the Ohio Department of Taxation to collect municipal earnings tax as it relates to net profit taxes from businesses. And that was challenged. It was challenged by Amberley Village along with several other municipalities throughout the state of Ohio. And it's gone through a couple different reviews, courts of law, but the Ohio Supreme Court ruled last week that it is constitutional for the state of Ohio to enact this, but they did strike down the piece that required a fee to be paid with it. So the fee is something that would be refunded to municipalities, but it does allow the continuation of this particular program for for businesses to use the net profit directly to the state. So it's referred to as central collection. The village was opposed to it. We believe it's an erosion of our home rule, but the state Supreme Court has ruled, so we will move forward with that. The second item I wanted to mention is that the village, I'm sorry?
The collection, if any delinquent taxpayers, would still be the responsibility of the communities, not the centralized collection agency. So regardless, we would still have to, if we entered into this structure, we would still be responsible for collecting from the non-paying public.
Correct. Thank you. The second item is the village received an award last week. This is referred to as the 2020 Best Village Diversion Rate Award. So this comes from the Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District, and it recognizes communities that have helped the county meet the Solid Waste District's mission, which is to reduce the amount of reliance on landfills. So the award certainly reflects the tenacity of our residents to recycle, because we have a great recycling rate here in the village. And it also reflects what council supports and what our maintenance staff does, which is the chipping of brush and the vacuuming of leaves. So that is all part of the diversion to the landfill, and that merited an award from the Hamilton County Recycling and Solid Waste District. So you're to be commended for your commitment to that particular program. Due to COVID, there is not a ceremony this year, so they will publish this in some magazine, and we will offer that to our residents as we publicize that. So that's congratulatory to not only council, but also to our residents. And the last item I wanted to mention is in regards to Chief Wallace. Chief Wallace had shared his intention several months ago with me that he wanted to retire before the end of 2020. And that actually occurred last week. So Chief Wallace has retired effective November the 6th of 2020. Just to talk a little bit about Chief Wallace, he has spent 32 years in public safety. He began his police career in public safety in 1988 with the Village of Gulf Manor. And in 1990, he joined the Norwood Fire Department full-time while maintaining a part-time position status with Gulf Manor. The chief has been employed with Amberley Village since July of 1996. He first served as a police officer / firefighter, and then was promoted to sergeant in 2003, and then was promoted to lieutenant in 2005. And as all of you know, he accepted the chief's position in July of 2011. So the chief's history with the village spans 24 years, as he certainly continues to lead one of the two uniquely combined police-fire departments in the state of Ohio. Now, fortunately, Chief Wallace also expressed a desire to continue working after his retirement. So that has led to a reemployment memorandum of understanding with Chief Wallace, and he has accepted the terms of the retirement effective November 6th, so his hire date became November the 7th. So being able to retain Chief Wallace, especially during this time, is a huge plus for the village. We all recognize what he brings to the village. We know that his arms stretch beyond the boundaries of Amberley Village, because he is heavily involved in multiple organizations in leadership capacities, and certainly is well respected. I know the village is proud to retain someone of Chief Wallace's caliber, and certainly his character and his exceptional leadership style, which we all enjoy. With his reemployment, Chief Wallace will continue to serve in the capacity of Chief of Police and Fire, with the public seeing no change in what has occurred. Chief Wallace has agreed to various concessions, and that will save the village money. That was one of the incentives for this particular memorandum of understanding to be pursued, and this will endure for a 4-year period, although there are option years in there for the chief to continue. So the chief has officially retired, but he is now back on staff.
And I just want to make a couple comments, and I wouldn't be surprised if other council members want to make a comment. This council, in an executive session after our September, or during our September council meeting, council discussed this, And I think, we were, first of all, on behalf of myself, and I think council and residents, Chief, we want to congratulate you on your retirement, but also want to thank you for being willing to continue to serve with us. This is, you're obviously a critical person to the village. You have managed a department and into a place that I'm confident that all our residents would say is second to none as far as service to the residents. And, I know you want to make sure that continues well beyond your period. And I know that's one of the things you're very intent on during these next 4 years is to put in place a situation where that will continue well into the future. So I can't thank you enough. This obviously is something that was put in place as far as the ability to retire years ago. But, in no way do I think, a lot of people have commented on things, double dipping and those kind of things. This does not apply, in my opinion, in this case, because this was a unique situation that started years ago. But, the village wants to retain you, and we're delighted that we were able to work this out. So thank you very much.
Chief, you know what? I don't think there's anybody in Amberley Village who is as well liked and respected in the entire community and known in the entire community as you are, and not just in Amberley, but when I am throughout Hamilton County, I run into people and other chiefs and other elected officials who know who you are, and Amberley Village, that's Chief Wallace, right? So, you really are out there and making a great name for yourself. You're too young to retire. You must have started here when you were 18. So, congrats on your retirement and welcome aboard. Hope you like working here.
Anyone else want to make a comment?
What time's the initiation ceremony?
All right, thank you to the village manager, and again, thanks very much, Steve, for all you've done, and we really look forward to working with you in this next period. Yes.
I have a question about the recycling award. Sorry. I don't even like to talk about the word retirement with Chief, so I'm just going to pretend that we've just sort of morphed over into the fact that one-stop drop didn't happen. Would there have been even a higher category if one-stop drop had happened, or is it from the prior year based on one-stop drop's inclusion? I'm just curious.
I believe it would be from the prior year. It's not?
No. No, I mean, the village has always done a great job recycling. One-stop drop put us into another place. What really has put us into the best category is that Hamilton County Solid Waste, starting this year, has started to recognize communities that help their diversion by doing things like wood chipping of brush and leaves. So our rate went up dramatically because we do more with leaves and brush than any other community. Indian Hill's close, and I think Indian Hill, I have a feeling that this was labeled the best village. I think Indian Hill might be the best city. No, Indian Hill is
It's a city.
But the one-stop drop usually adds 1 or 2 percentage points to our total of recycling. But again, I think it's good that the county recognizes all that we do, not just recycling, and I think that was critical to this.
Just to further, there is not a better award to receive. So you have reached the max, yes.
Chief, do you have anything?
I just want to say thanks to Scott for willing to talk to me and work with me outside the box, and council as a whole. Thanks for your kind words and everything, but, you know, what makes this community so great is the leadership we have, leadership we work under, you know, having council that, you know, takes some crazy ideas I bring forward, whether it's starting our new alarm or all these different things, we continue to advance the village forward. And I feel that, you know, we have an opportunity to continue to do that. And I always said if I ever get to the point where I wasn't going to do that, it was time for me to step down. So really just thank you. And if it wasn't for the leadership with myself and Lieutenant Bloom and our command staff, you know, we wouldn't be able to be the police department we are. It's hard taking that position, wanting to stay in that position because the fact that somebody's not getting promoted as a result of that. With that said, I technically could have still stayed 3 years, but this was a way to, it was a benefit to me, but also it was a benefit to the village where there would be a cost savings too. So again, I just want to say thanks. Appreciate it.
Okay. On the mayor's report, just a couple things. All council members should have received the report for the village audit, which I want to congratulate our finance department and the village manager, because I think this, again, was an excellent audit finding, basically very clean report, and I think it's reflective of the great work that the village manager and the finance staff do. So congratulations on that. Secondly, you may have seen in the manager's monthly report that he and I met with concerning the Reading Road corridor report. We are going to schedule a land development committee meeting to ensure that information also gets out. This is basically an interim report. I mean, the Reading Road corridor group continues to look for opportunities to improve that corridor. So what we will be doing in the land development committee meeting is getting a status report and kind of their recommendations to date. And then finally, all council members should have received the village manager's self-evaluation. This is the time of year that the council does go through the village manager's evaluation. We will do, my proposal is that we do pretty much the same that we've done in prior years, that you should go through that self-evaluation, go through the form. I will circulate the same form that we've used for council members, and then we will, at the end of the next council meeting, we will adjourn into executive session to do the council evaluation of the village manager, and we will endeavor to either complete that at the December meeting or the January meeting, including an evaluation of the compensation of the manager. So that concludes my mayor's report. Are there any questions or comments? Is there any new business?
Thanks. I just want to clarify one thing when we're talking about, all the way back at the beginning of the meeting about comments for the planning commission, or for the zoning ordinances, but also really for anything, for the dog conversation that we're having ongoing. You know, we know it's hard for people to come here in person or even on the Zoom and the limitations. We absolutely, just want to make sure residents understand written communication is also okay. Emails, letters, all of us have individual email addresses through the village, but also if you send stuff to the clerk or the manager, it can be disseminated appropriately to all of us. Snail mail, anything, all of those things are on the table. So all of those comments count. It doesn't have to be in this forum, because this is a difficult forum. So I just wanted to clarify that in case that was a confusion to anybody.
Thank you. Good addition. Any other new business?